The length of this staff is twice the height of the user. This staff tapers gradually, so the end is about 1.5 inches and the tip is about 1/2 inch. For a proper grip, hold the staff near the end with the left hand, keeping the left arm straight, and grip with the right hand near the right shoulder. This is the basic strike. Bend your front hand to eyebrow height and straighten your snap down both wrists and place your rear hand at waist level. Make the tip of the stick vibrate and aim for head level. Back to an extra wide cat stance as you lift your stick up. Sink down into a horse stance with your strike. Use your body to gently down. Here is the same preceded block. Circle to cover your upper body as you step with your rear leg. Move your front foot sideways to cat as you lift your staff up. Strike down in horse. The block covers the head, then circles to cover the body. This circle block follows the direction of the side step, so that as your rear leg steps to the left, your staff circles left to cover your body and vice versa. This movement is done many times in this set. Here is the basic strike. As the student attempts to strike Sifu Lam's hand, Sifu Lam turns his hand over to protect it and strike his student's hand. From this angle, it is clear how each staff slides down the other. Note how much tighter the application movement is over the exercise drill. Here is the circle block and strike. Sifu Lam disengages his weapon and circles under to strike the staff from the other side. Then he strikes to the head. The circle underneath moves tightly around the student's staff. Note how Sifu Lam gains velocity for his strike to the head by bouncing off of the staff strike. Here the circle block and strike is used in response to the attack in the previous application. When the student attempts to strike Sifu Lam's staff, Sifu Lam evades the circle with a circle. When the student fails to strike Sifu Lam's staff, his weapon drops, making an opening. Sifu Lam knocks it down further with his circle block, then strikes. The name of this set is derived from its origin. According to legend, there was once a family of brothers named Young. Most of the brothers were slain on the battlefield, except for the fifth son, who found sanctuary at the Shaolin Temple in Fujian. This fifth son was an expert at spear, but at that time it was forbidden for monks to use bladed weapons and draw blood. Young converted his spear techniques to apply to long staff. The staff was favored by the monks at Shaolin, since it could serve as a tool as well as a weapon. The 8 trigrams refer to 8 groupings of 3 lines that are frequently depicted around the yin-yang symbol. These lines are each in different patterns of broken or solid. This is known in Chinese as the bagua. Bagua is used in the ancient system of divination called I Ching. In this system, the 8 trigrams are determined as solid or broken by random generation, often by throwing coins. Each grouping of patterns has meaning that has been discussed by the great scholars like Confucius and passed down to today. There is also a system of martial arts known as Bagua, which is one of the 3 major internal styles, including Tai Chi Chuan and Xing Yi. Although the martial art of Bagua and the 8 trigrams namesake of this set both refer to the Bagua of the I Ching, these systems are entirely distinct. Since this weapon is too long to keep in the frame of this videotape and still see the movements clearly, a smaller rat-tail staff will be used to demonstrate the lessons. Begin with your staff over your left shoulder. Coil your right fist, salute, Kyu Sao, then uppercut. Coil and kick, punch, elbow, and chop. Grasp your staff, strike down 3 times. Start with your feet together. Step forward to left cat, then back to right twist. Left cat, left toe kick, jump forward to horse, and shift to left bow. Turn and shift to horse, then jump forward to horse. Shift from cat to horse for each strike. Start with the end of the staff exposed. Coil your fist and step back simultaneously. Use your stance shifting to add power to the punch and elbow strike. Slide your left hand to the end when you grab with your right. Coil your right by your shoulder for the first strike, then the following strikes are as in the fundamentals. Your tiger claw salute points forward, and your Kyu Sao points down. Kick to waist height. Your staff stays stationary upon your shoulder until you grab it with your right. Sink down low for the cat stance. Rise only for the kick and jump. Then sink for the horse. Jumping high, then sinking low allows you to absorb the momentum of the jump in your stance and demonstrates contrast in agility. Keep your staff angled upon your shoulder so that it protrudes only slightly past the sides of your body. Jump forward into an angled horse, then step to bring your horse back on floor center line when you turn and shift from bow. Circle, block, and strike to the left, then to the right. Swing your staff horizontally out, then overhead, then strike down. Block and swing back. Strike up, then strike down. Make 3 strikes down, then circle, block, and strike to the left, then to the right. Side step through horse, left then right. Turn and shift from left reverse bow to left bow, to reverse bow to bow. Jump up and land in low horse. Shift to left bow, then step forward to horse. Shift through cat and horse twice, then step left, then right into horse. For the horizontal swing, slide your hands together as the swing comes forward, then spread them out again just prior to the strike down. Lift your staff slightly before the block and swing back, angling it so it does not strike the floor. Following the strike down, the low target is open. When a student would attack low, the jump and block covers the opening and prepares for the following strike. The final strike up is the same movement and the preparation for the strike down. Block low, strike to the side, then down. Turn and strike down, followed by 3 down strikes. Circle block and strike to the left and right. Turn and strike down, then turn and strike low with the end. Strike down with the tip. Step to an angled horse. Step to left bow, then right bow. Turn to left bow, then step forward to horse. Shift from cat and horse twice, and sideways through horse. Turn to left bow, then jump to a low crouch. Jump forward to right bow. Bring your right hand to your hip for the block. Then extend both arms at shoulder level for the strike. Lift the tip only slightly for the first strike, then straight overhead for the second strike. For the low strike with the end, slide your front hand out, then your left hand back to expose the end. Here the tip is used to block the attack as the end of the staff is exposed. This strike is to the knee. The end of the staff is thicker and heavier, which makes the strike slower but harder. Here is the block low, side strike, then strike down. The side strike targets the hand, then the strike down aims for the head. Sifu Lam lowers his hands from the side strike in the set to the applied strike to hit the hand. The arms are still extended in the same manner. Lift your staff tip up for the kick, then slide your hands to the middle. Turn and bring the end straight up, then jab, lift up, then strike down. Bring your rear foot up, right toe kick, then step and pivot to right crane. Step forward to right twist, then shift to an angled cat. For the hand slide, let gravity do the work. Slide down so that the end does not touch the floor when you pivot, and so that you can still reach the end with your left hand for the thrust. Slide your hands together for the stab, then extend your arms for the strike down. Here the jab is used to draw a block and expose the student's hand. The strike is to that opening. Lifting up the staff clears the student's staff as well as prepares for the strike down. Jab and strike down, jab and strike down. Block low, then strike to the side, doing so 3 times. Circle 3 times, then jab. Switch the hands so that your left is forward, then strike down. Step forward through right twist to cat, doing so twice. Step back through right twist to bow 3 times. Jump forward to right bow, then step back to left cat. Jab with your twist stance and strike down with your cat. Block with your twist stance and strike down with your bow. Tighten the circle with each revolution and keep circling as you jump forward. Since your hands are already together for the jab, cross your left grip over your right for the switch. This front view links the strike from the end of Lesson 4 with the 2 strikes in this lesson, so they are continuous. When blocking low, bring your right hand to your hip and extend your left at shoulder level. Note how the circles tighten, corkscrewing in for the jab. For the advancing jab and strike, your knee always covers your groin. The same is true for the retreating block and strike. Jab with both hands at throat level. Make the hand transition as smooth as possible. Lean slightly forward for the advancing attacks so that your arms extend straight down for the strike down. For the strike to the side, turn your front hand over at the last instant of the strike. Keep your left hand on your hip when circling the tip. Here Sifu Lam circles his student's staff to feel for any gaps in his defense. He tightens his circle to strike the hand, then jabs to the throat. By sticking to his student's staff, Sifu Lam can feel for any gaps in his defense. He slides up the staff to strike the front hand. Jab, and strike down, doing so 3 times. Block high with the tip, then jab and strike down 3 times, angled to the left. Block high with the shaft, strike down, then jab and strike down 3 times, angled to the right. Block low, strike to the side, jab, shift hands and strike down. Circle block and strike down to the left, then to the right. Shift to horse, then angled cat, doing so 3 times. Sink on your last cat, then shift to the left for 3 more horse to cat repetitions. Shift to the right into left reverse bow, then to horse, then make 3 horse to cat repetitions again. Shift to an angled horse, then right bow, then left bow, step forward to horse and shift left, then right. This left-handed jab and strike down technique is repeated 3 times, 3 to the front, 3 to the left, then 3 to the right. For the block with the tip, extend your right arm exposing the end and coil your left. For the block with the shaft, extend your right arm up and your left at shoulder level. The sequence after the angle horse repeats the beginning of lesson 3 except on the left-hand side, then shifts hands and ends with the fundamental technique. Here is the high block with a tip. This defense blocks and evades the attack and prepares to return the attack. By using a circular block, Sifu Lam knocks his student's staff in the same direction that it knocked his staff. Here is the block with the shaft. This block covers the head, then the attack is made to the front hand. Sifu Lam keeps his weapon between his body and his student's staff from block to strike. Power is generated by turning the wrists over at the last moment. Block low left, then right, then strike up. Jab at an angle, strike up with the end, then the tip. Strike down with the end, then the tip. Block high with the shaft, then strike down. Turn to left bow, shift to right cat, then step back to an angled right bow. Step to an angled cat, then step forward to right, then left bow. Step back through right, then left bow. Step to horse, then slide forward. Keep your tip low for the first two blocks. Slide your hands to the middle for the two strikes up and the first strike down. Slide your left hand to the end for the strike down with the tip. Extend your right arm and coil your left for the first block. Extend your right with your left at your chest to strike up. For the 4 strikes up and down, extend your front hand and place your rear on your hip. For the second block, extend your right arm and bring your left hand to your hip. Lean back for the jab up. Lean forward for the cat stance jab. The strikes up and down follow a figure 8 pattern. The first 2 blocks step to the left. The strike up is angled to the left. Then the jab is angled to the right. The following strikes are all back on line. This sequence defends the low target by blocking first to the right, then the left. Sifu Lam's front leg moves in the opposite direction of the staff, while most of his weight remains on his left leg. This leaning strike dodges the attack by displacing the target. The strike is simultaneous to dodging. Sifu Lam leans back to avoid the attack as well as forward to bring added leverage into his strike. This cat stance jab is another counterattack by evasion. Here Sifu Lam ducks and strikes to the armpit. Note that the step is not directly to the side, rather it is slightly forward to close the distance. Strike down, pivot, and jab up. Block high and strike down. Block low left, then right, strike up, then jab. Strike up with the end and tip, then down with the end and tip. Block high, then strike down. Turn to left bow, then jump and pivot to a crouch. Rise to horse, then shift the left bow, then right cat. Step back to an angled right bow, then to an angled cat, then step forward and backward through bow. Step to horse, then slide forward. Extend your arms as wide as you can for the jump and pivot, angling the staff so it does not hit the floor. Bring your hands together for the jab, then apart for the rest of the block and strike. The remainder of this lesson is a repetition of Lesson 7. The strike down draws the student's weapon up to defend and exposes his lower target. This jab strikes to the throat. Sifu Lam is in striking distance with the first attack, so the jump does not change the distance, only the line of the attack. Swing your staff horizontally out, then overhead, then strike down. Strike down, then raise the end straight up, then jab. Block to the side, then strike down. Step to left bow, then shift to reverse bow to bow. Step at an angle to horse, shift to right cat, then right bow, then left bow. Step back at an angle to right bow. This horizontal swing is similar to Lesson 2, and the following strike is the fundamental. When raising your staff, slide your hands toward the center, then reach back for the end with your left. Jab at an angle to the left, and strike down to the right. This is the block to the side and strike down. The block protects the front hand. Note how Sifu Lam turns his wrist in and bends his elbow slightly to protect his hand. Bring up your staff, jab, block, and strike down. Circle overhead, and strike to the side. Shift to cat through right and left bow, doing so twice. Shift to horse. The first part of this lesson repeats Lesson 9. For the overhead swing, expose the end for the last strike down, so it lies upon your back for the side strike. Swing your staff overhead and strike down. Circle block and strike to the left, then circle and jab. Slide your hands back and slap the staff on the floor. Strike low with the end. Step forward with your left, then take 3 pivoting steps, then sink to horse. Step left, then jump forward into right bow. Jump back and pivot to right low bow. Rise to right bow. Raise both arms up and unwind them, sliding your left hand to the end. Open your palms when you slap the ground with your staff. The end skims the floor for the low strike. This jump back lures an attacker into the strike down. The following low strike sweeps the ankle. The pivot serves to reverse the direction of the retreat into an attack as well as add velocity to the strike down. Bring the tip forward, then set the end on the floor. Strike up, then spin your staff on your right, then over your left shoulder. Tiger claw, back fist, and coil your fist. Jump forward to right bow, step forward to left bow, then shift to cat. Step back and stand straight. Reach out to the end with your left hand, but leave a short segment protruding for the rest of the set. Extend both arms as you set the end on the floor. Lift your right arm high enough so that the staff returns to its original angle. Here, Sifu Lam performs the set in slow motion. In southern China, the long staff and the butterfly knives are the preferred weapons of choice. Many people specialize in these weapons alone. Wing Chun, a very compact and popular southern school, only trains with these two weapons. The long staff and the butterfly knives make a solid arsenal, since they contrast significantly. The long staff is a single, long, blunt weapon, and the butterfly knives are double, short-edged weapons. The long staff demonstrated in this set is considered to be the most advanced staff set in Hung Gar. Like the rat-tail staff of the Lao Gar set, focus on projecting your energy into the tip of the weapon. When this is executed properly, the tip of the staff will vibrate. This is the result of stopping the momentum of the tip of the staff sharply when striking. Because of the increased length of this weapon, it is more challenging to project your energy to the tip, since it has to reach that much further. Sliding your hands is crucial to get the best leverage. This too is more difficult due to the increased length. The long staff is usually reserved for the most advanced practitioners of Hung-Gar, since it requires so much skill to manipulate. The length of the weapon may impress the casual observer, but anyone with an eye for martial arts will be very critical of a long staff performance. When learning this weapon, expect it to be challenging, otherwise it would not be thought of so highly. If this weapon was not as difficult, everyone would wield it, and that would detract from its unique individuality.